And we are live. What is going on, legend? But welcome back to Beyond the 90. Leicester, well, we'll give you all the updates. We'll give you updates. Tielemans, again, probably not heard of that. Fofana, again, the last half an hour, it's just broke. We'll give you some more information. We'll go over the press conference. We'll do all that good stuff. We've got Mark with us again. Mark, how you doing, mate?
Enjoying it, mate. Yeah, quite enjoying my Thursday nights with you. This is my third one in a row, so there's always plenty to discuss, isn't there, every week at the minute? So
There
looking forward
really
to this.
is. And unfortunately, it tends not to be the right things to discuss, compared to where we were a couple of years ago or something. But we shall prevail. We should get on with it. Again, we're going to talk about, again, the first thing we're going to jump into, again, something that probably is on the tip of everybody's tongues, which I'm just going to get straight into. Chelsea have made another offer for Fofana. I think this is the third offer. It's in the range of fourth offer. 60 mil,
Yeah.
70 mil, 70 mil again, right? And then 75 mil.
Yeah.
Okay, fourth offer then. Fourth offer again for 75 million for Wesley Fofana. If this is you, Mark, do we take it?
Yeah, I think so. And I think we're in a situation now where we've been played by both Fofana and Chelsea a little bit. Because if you took this back about a month, we'd still be going, well, no, the price is the price. And, you've got to pay the price to get him. I think with his antics of the last few weeks, I think that pretty much every Leicester fan at the minute will just want him out of the club. You can't really see a way back for him where he'd play for Leicester again. So I think 75 million is probably slightly on the low side compared to what we could have got if it had behaved in a Harry Maguire style way. But that's what we're probably going to end up getting for him. And I said, let's get the money and move on.
Exactly. Take the money again, 75 mil. As we know from the Maguire deal, we can do quite a lot with that information as well. And just to kind of bring it up again, just as you were there, I might as well bring it up on screen now. So Rodgers was asked again about the whole Fofana situation, whether there's similarity between him and Maguire. And he goes, it was very different in terms of his behaviour. And Harry was fantastic right to the last minute. I mean, we don't hear praise for Harry Maguire from that, apart from thanks for the 80 million. However, credit where it's due. Rodgers, I think, has played that pretty smart by taking the pressure off himself and going, right, this is how we're going to play that, which I think was quite clever from his point of view.
Yeah, it's a low dig though, isn't it? It's for Fofana as well. So he's not going to come out and say outright that the behaviour of his players isn't good enough. However, with that comment, he has said it, and I think he's been quite clever around that. He must be really, really annoyed. That's when you're under pressure as a manager and you've got a player that's doing what he's doing, a star player, it's got to be frustrating to say the least. So yeah, fair play to Rodgers for that comment. Really, I don't have a lot of stuff to say. Fair play to Rodgers too at the minute, but for that comment, I thought he did that well.
I know, same here to be honest. But again, credit where it's due. You got to give credit where it's due. And I think again, what we're looking out for again in terms of this, again, Chelsea. Just before I came live, just finding out some more information. They're again 80 million. They're looking for 80 million pound plus the add-ons. But Susan Whelan, CEO in Susan We Trust, she's at the forefront of this, trying to get this sorted with Chelsea. They will take lower installments compared to before, from what we're hearing as well. But the club want Fofana gone. Fofana wants gone. But it's kind of a case that came of poker face. Chelsea obviously seen the situation at Leicester with him downing tools and say, right, we can kind of challenge on this, but the window's rolling in for them as well. So I won't say it's going to go down to the wire, but it's coming close now. It's coming towards the end of September, so the end of August.
Yeah, I think once Saturday comes and goes, I think that's when we'll see a bit more movement on it, if I'm honest. So it is like a game of poker, but we're running out of time to play that game in at the moment. And, I'd love to say that we hold all the aces like we did a few weeks ago. But like I say, I think Wes's behaviour has devalued him a little bit. Not good for him to be training with the under-23s at the minute, is it?
And that's part of it as well. He's training with the under-23s because, again, the club have handled this in the right way in terms of I've not really experienced something quite like this at Leicester City. But again, training with the under-23s, they're moving Lewis Brunt into the first team. Again, we didn't really see too much of him against Stockport. We'll probably touch on Stockport in a bit. But they're handling it relatively well considering the circumstance we're in.
Yeah, I think so. I think Mahrez was probably the closest that we came to this when he was turning up at the airport on transfer deadline day and looking to get his move wherever he was after at that particular time. But, to all intents and purposes, he still got on with it and he still played and he was still our best player for the majority of that time. I don't think there's many fans that will wish Wesley Fofana well after the way that he's behaved around this move. I think he'll go down as a bit of a sort of Judas, really, and that's how I view him at the minute. I think he's really let us down. You know, we looked after him when he had a broken leg. He got a new 5-year deal. There was no guarantee that he was going to come back stronger than he was before at that stage. And don't sign a 5-year deal if you don't want to honour it. That's my sort of takeaway from this. I'm fuming with him. I can't lie.
And also, in terms of, I totally agree. And I think in terms of the mentality, it shows it's not great from him. But what's this going to? I think in the long term, whoever's kind of his agent or the people around him needs to book up their ideas, because they can only do this for so long, and that you can only screw over so many people. In the long term for your career, it's going to hurt you. And also, if he's doing that, if I'm Didier Deschamps and I'm the French manager, I'm looking at going, is this what you need to do? Really? It's what? Like, this is not, I don't think it's the right way of, I think kind of karma will catch up to him because of the way he's acting.
Yeah, totally. I mean, I don't know about you, but I think even for myself in my life, you want to go through and treat everyone with respect and not burn bridges, because you don't know if on the people that you're trampling on the way up, you're going to need them on the way back down. And he's trampled all over us, I'm afraid. So, you know, we'll take the money. Thank you very much. Let's try not to waste it. I know everyone's talking about, is it Akanji at Dortmund at the moment? And I don't know a great deal about him, but I'm slightly underwhelmed with the stats that I've seen and his place in the Dortmund squad. But let's hope that we reinvest particularly wisely. But we don't have a great history of that at the moment.
We really don't. And I think if it's not coming from, again, I don't know the situation at the club, but again, I love our owners. However, there's a few decisions that I am a little bit dubious about. Again, there was a whole situation around the set piece coach. It had a visa issue, and we've just heard nothing from that. There's another one as well about the tickets and not putting them on general sale. I think that was kind of dumb as well, to be perfectly honest with you. And a recent one again with Martin Glover and them reaching out, but then going, you're going to do what, your gardening leave. I guess there's less to do with that, but the fact that we've had nobody for this transfer window as well, it's kind of annoying. And then looking at, again, Akanji, I think his name, I genuinely just watch Leicester, and that's about it. I watch Premier League games, kind of. I don't really watch rest of Europe, to be perfectly honest with you. However, in terms of Leicester, in terms of him, I looked at him. The only thing that I really look, again, quick Google, quick YouTube highlights of him, not really impressed. I looked at him and went, he doesn't, you know, a kind of player that Leicester will go out and get. He doesn't scream, wow, that's the player that I want and I want near the squad. Even because his age, his height, it doesn't really work for me. And the price as well, I've heard, is quite on the high side.
Every price is going to be on the high side for us now, though, Neil, because everyone's going to know what money we've now got, and they'll be burning a hole in our pocket. So, and we're not the wisest with it, are we? If you look back at our recent transfers, so I think the price for all of these centre halves is going to be quite high. I remember back in the summer when we lost Maguire, that Nathan Ake was almost all of a sudden a £50 million player, and so was James Tarkowski. No disrespect to both of those players, they're both okay. But they're nowhere near that level. You just look at how easy it's been for other teams to get players in the summer, and I just wonder if you've gone from having no intention to get players to all of a sudden having that money to bring players in. Are you prepared well enough? Well, the setup suggests not, in terms of Martin Glover not being there in fulfilling his role at the minute. So I'm a bit worried, but you know, this needs to come to an end fairly soon.
Yeah, and we need to get this sorted as well, because of the way that, and also considering the player that we get in is going to take time to adapt to the Premier League. We're probably not going to get a Premier League player because of A, that's not how we do business, and B, the Premier League players of recent that we've got, again, the two Southampton boys, not worked out. So I don't think it's a good idea to go for that. And also, he's kind of got to hit the ground running, to be perfectly honest with you, considering it seems like he's fallen out with Cags. If you are going to play through it at the back, then you can play potentially Cags on the left-hand side, then Daniel Amartey on the right. But that we're error-prone as it is, that's not going to help.
No, he doesn't seem to want to play Söyüncü anyway at the moment. If we could get that version of Söyüncü that we had when Maguire left, we would be absolutely laughing. But that seemed to come in and go just as fast as he came. I think that game against Bournemouth was where it all went wrong for him, and we never really saw the proper cags after that. I'm worried about our options at centre back, if I'm honest, because like you say, if we get someone in from abroad, it's going to take time. It might not work out straight away. Lots of pressure will then be put onto that player to get them to perform. And if it doesn't, the fans will be on that person's back as well. Now, we've got Dan Amarty, who we all love as a cult hero, but we don't want him anywhere near the side particularly. And Sionchu,
Chelsea as
he's
well.
not in form. And then beyond that, you've got Vestergaard. Could this be the renaissance of Big Jan? Could he come in and give us some absolute golden moments? Who knows?
Well,
Probably
not. Brian Bennett return. Jesus, don't bring it again. We really scraped the barrel, haven't we?
What about, we might go and try and take a cheaper option and go for someone like Willy Bolly at Wolves, who they're trying to get rid of? I don't know.
Rate Willy Bolly, to be perfectly honest with you.
He's good in the air. That's as much as you can say.
That's
he's quicker than 95%
of our squad.
Yeah.
I think he scored against us a few times. Well, anyway, in terms of that, I mean, if he's leaving, it's quite a few. I think Connor Cody left as well recently. So there is Wolves are again, they're in a different stage. But okay, we'll move on to that because again, we could genuinely talk about that. For anybody that doesn't know, in terms of Fofana, he's been left with the under-23s as well. I don't know if I've mentioned that already, but just something I'd get back in there. One thing I want to mention as well, kind of something that's gone a little bit under the radar. Tielemans, in terms of an update for him, the club are preparing for him not to be hit with us, which kind of is not too surprising by the end of the window, but he's going about it in a professional manner. His agent has been offered himself to Liverpool. Arsenal are not sure if they want to pay that full amount of full 30 million, which is still, I don't think, is a lot of money for 1 year on his contract, considering they paid 40 for Vieira. And they just didn't seem to rate him. But again, his agent's been over to Liverpool, offered him. I think Liverpool said, no, we're all right, thank you. So in terms of Tielemans, Mark, do you expect him to be here as well?
No, I don't expect him to be here. We could do with the second club showing a bit of interest just to get Arsenal's arse into gear a little bit, because it's dragging on and on and on. And this is one that I can see going through to the final couple of hours of the window. And we spoke about a game of poker with Chelsea for Fofana. Well, that's a bit more out in the open, isn't it? I think this genuinely could be a game of sort of charades and who's going to blink first in terms of Tielemans. I think they will look at him with 1 year left on his contract and think that £25 million is too high to pay. And actually, given his performances in the last 6 to 9 months, you can almost agree with that. And that's from a crazy place, really. If you took that back 2 years, had that conversation about Yuri Tielemans, who was the golden player of this side, really, our star man, you would never have thought that we'd be having that conversation, that a club might not want to pay 25 million for him, because you would have considered that a bargain, but it's been not very good for a long period of time now. So you can mask that with a bit of passion here and there and staying calm and staying professional about his business, but he's not been performing for us, Neil. So, is he going to be a big loss? I'm not sure at the moment. I thank him for what he did. Gave me one of the best days of my life at Wembley. And I think we take the money and move on there as well.
Yes, and I think with the meteoric rise of Keane and Dewsbury Hall, which is fantastic, but also if we are going to play another player in his position, I think Dennis Pratt could be a great player to slot in that. If we're playing a 3 in midfield, he will allow you to then play further up the field, give you that energy that Yuri doesn't. He won't give you that vision, but his technical ability, I think, will make up for that.
Yeah, we could do with someone like James Garner as well, if I'm honest. Really good young player 100%. That's coming through at United. Not going to get a chance there. Too good to rot in the reserves. We saw what he could do at Forest last year. It'd be great to take him away from them as well. Give us a bit of a boost all round and start to really think about the future in that midfield. Because if you had Dewsbury Hall next to him, and then even with a Will for Samara is not going to be there, but Dennis Pratt, you've got the base of a good young midfield there again.
Yeah, exactly.
Bottom line, we need to spend the money. So the bottom line is we need to spend the money.
We need to get the players out to get the players in. And again, we have the players there. We just need to make sure that, again, the manager, I think some kind of rumor that, well, not rumor, something that my kind of theory is Rodgers is kind of done. As you can see from the window, then they've not given him any money. They're getting their own people in. They're doing what they want. They're just waiting for it to buckle. I think they were waiting on one signing. So I think Fofana will go. I think after that, considering how ruthless they've been with Puel, Ranieri in the past. Hanging on to Brendan Rodgers for a bit longer, I think it's just a financial thing. So potentially, my rumor, but my theory, don't have any evidence to back this up. When Fofana goes, then it makes sense to pay off Brendan Rodgers and get him gone at the same time.
Yeah, it's a nice theory, Neil. It's one that a lot of Leicester fans, a growing number of Leicester fans, would be behind at the moment. So, if we're talking cash flow problems, then we're going to have some cash, aren't we? Whether it's the wisest move to then spend that on sacking the manager, who knows? But we're just in a really strange and almost surreal position at the minute. It feels like the world is moving around us and carrying on, and we've just sat completely still. And unfortunately, if you sit still while everyone else is improving, that only means one thing, and it means that we're going to end up going backwards. And that's what's inevitably happening. You're coming on to the Chelsea game in a few minutes, and I don't know about you, I can't see for the life of me how we get a positive result out of that.
No, I'm really not hoping not. I had Lewis on yesterday, so Lewis was telling me all about Chelsea and their woes of kind of not creating big chances and things like that as well. But I said to them, look, I can't really relate to you because you spent 62 million on Cucurella. Like, my club could never. And he is, yes, it's not in you. I understand you're not in a great position. We're in a worse position. So in terms of that and getting the Fofana deal done, that's one thing as well. I don't know if you managed to follow the Stockport game, just to bring it back to that a little bit. 0-0, couldn't finish, couldn't get a goal in 90 minutes.
We didn't really come close, though, did we? We didn't really look like we were going to score. It was one of those games that you were never expecting a goal to go in there. We were shooting from long range. Mostly, there was a couple of chances for Daka, and I think Dewsbury Hall had a half decent chance as well. But who was the League Two side in that game? That's the big question, isn't it? We were very lucky to come through that. You could see how annoyed the fans were when they were chanting you're getting sacked in the morning to the manager before a penalty shootout had taken place, rightly or wrongly.
Yeah, and also, so there are more fans turning. I think the real showing will be at home, like, because at Southampton, the boos were loud and they were strong from a lot of Brendan Rodgers couldn't have not heard that, because they were all over the pitch and there were a lot of people chanting it. When it comes to Stockport, I mean, not being able to finish, a lot of people were saying the same thing. And obviously the game wasn't broadcasted, but watching the highlights of it, it just looked like pot shops and I'll have a go from here, but not even like in a really convincing. It was like, yeah, all right then. The players just look unmotivated.
I think it's a lack of confidence goes all the way through the fabric of the club at the moment, from the manager through to the players. So when you come up against a low block like that against Stockport, unfortunately we don't possess the quickness of brain at the moment to be able to unlock the door with some neat passes and some quick thinking. The way Tielemans used to do when he was on fire, and he'd be picking passes from 30 yards back through the eye of a needle. Never looked likely to happen. But in terms of Southampton, I need to be honest, I was one of those that at the end of the game was booing there, and that's very unlike me. And I've stuck with Brendan Rodgers all this time, but that was a final straw for me, because we just feel like we're in a place of utter desperation at the moment. You see people put their lineups for the next game on the internet, and it's just horrendous. I can't get excited about it at the minute at all, and I don't know where the next win's coming from.
No, I can't see it. And again, even if we can't get it against Stockport, that was our opportunity. And yes, we did get the win after 90 minutes, but the fact that we didn't even take our chances in terms of beating them in that was concerning, considering they're playing five at the back and they tried to sort us out, which they did for large parts. And if I'm a Stockport fan, I am happy. But again, we should be doing a lot better, considering this quality that we had. Nacho, Daka, yes, Albright was playing right back. We still had some quality. Dennis Pratt was on the pitch. Still had some quality. Kuna Dewsbury Hall was there, I think, as substitute. But Mendy was there. We had a good enough team to win that, and we didn't in 90 minutes.
With Iheanacho, you could have bought the whole of, not just Stockport Football Club, but the whole of Stockport with the money that we spent on the Iheanacho. So,
yeah.
We have to beat sides like that. We draw Newport in the next round, and I think we're all dreading it. It's just a crazy time.
And considering who I think, is it away? I don't figure out, is it home or away at Newport?
Home, yeah.
It's homes. Okay, thank God we've got at least a home crowd, which is slightly better than Newport away.
I'm not sure
because that was, it's not. Yeah, again, more. Well, at least got them at home this time. So because, again, with them being at home, this is the thing. So you've got Newport at home. This is a great opportunity for fans that don't go to the games regularly to go and see a Leicester game. You bring some people that don't go to the game. You take them down on a Tuesday night or Wednesday night, whenever it's going to be. And for me, this is where we come back to it. The ticket should be on general sale, so you can sell out the place, or not sell out the place. Probably won't be sold out, but there'll be a better crowd. I've seen it before where there's less people, and it's not good as it is. But by not putting on general sale again, Newport at home, you're kind of shooting yourself in the foot, surely.
Yeah, will that one go on general sale though? Did they not put cup games on general sale?
I have no idea.
I
Just
don't know.
Premier League games.
I can't see there being any more than sort of 10,000 there. You go back to your real hardcore set of fans now that will turn up through anything. For me, myself, it's a 120-mile round trip. It's probably not the most compared to some fans, but am I going to do that after work on a cold Tuesday or Wednesday night? Probably, yeah. but that's because I'm a bit mad. But yeah, I'm not sure. We need to be getting those tickets out so that we can start to attract new fans in as well.
Fair enough. Ethan's putting in it might go on general. It will go on general sale. Fair enough. And maybe I'll have a rant about the other bits. But
yeah,
in terms of that,
same though, isn't it? They're not going on general sale for those games, and we're not selling out now.
Yeah, and then there was quite a few empty seats because again of the price of the tickets I think is one, and B, well, is what's important at the moment. And without going too much into detail, cost of living is high, and for people that don't have, it's 41, 42 pounds to watch that.
Yeah,
I understand why people aren't paying it, to be perfectly honest with you. Just one thing that I've also got as well, just to show you about we've got the third kit announced as well. This picture's better than the using the LCFC women because A, it's the same kit, and B, the release pictures on Leicester aren't that great because they're all this weird shadow with a weird background. For me, I put this on Beyond the 90. This feels like it should glow in the dark.
Maybe it will. Maybe that will help us.
Maybe able to see the ball when it's coming over from a corner. Dim all the lights.
Maybe Tielemans will pick it up in midfield and have enough time to see a glimmer out the corner of his eye and pick the pass rather than being a bit too slow at the minute.
And then Ethan's put, look who's trending on the right-hand side. Yep. Sports, where's Fofana? Yep. Who would have thought? The same trending to be fair, I didn't even realise that they were there. And I know, so yeah, it's not the best.
I thought he was trending on the right-hand side because he's putting all the comments in.
Oh, right, okay. Fair enough.
No, he's right. It was Fofana, yeah.
It was Fofana. And in terms of the kit, what do you think? I'm not keen on it, to be honest.
I quite like it. I think anything that's got a Leicester City badge on, I always say that about. So maybe I'm biased, but I think all of the kits this year, I've not seen this one in the flesh, but they look better when you actually see them compared to the pictures that have gone out. The third kit especially, I thought, looks really, really sharp. I've not seen this one yet, but I'll be expecting that to be quite sharp as well.
I wouldn't say that was for me. I agree with you. I'm not too big of I like the third kit. The third kit last year, I wasn't a big fan, and it kind of grew on me a little bit as the more I saw it and people at the ground wearing it. But I think the contrast between the grey and the pink, I think was a bit too drastic, and it kind of, for me, this feels the same way. But give me 3 months, I'll see what it's like.
I think with any kit, I don't know about you, but the kits it's almost the legacy of the kit that makes it a better kit. So that maroon shirt that we won the FA Cup in, would everyone have been going on about that a few years down the line if we had not won the FA Cup in it? But because we have, it's an iconic kit, and people still want to buy it, and it's still very much in demand. So yeah, I don't know. We'll see what we can achieve in it this season. 17th place finish achieved in it, and people will be writing.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Let's see what will happen this season, because again, it's not good at the moment. Let's have a look back on what they talked about as well. Oh, one thing we forgot to talk about: one injury issue that is a doubt. James Maddison. We will know by tomorrow if he's able to play. Brendan Rodgers confirms that the only doubt at the moment, he felt a slight twinge in training yesterday. I saw your comment you already put on Twitter, which was horrible. But no, it's fine. But he's been our brightest spark so far this season.
He's our best player.
Real loss. Real loss to lose him.
This is a guy that's still turning up when no one else is. It's a guy that's still scoring goals, still assisting, still looking to get on the ball, make things happen. He's got character. He's got passion. I think he probably should be the vice captain, if I'm honest. Now I've had really good time to think about it. We're going to miss him if he's not in the squad at Stamford Bridge. And what it shows is that we can't really afford any time without him this season, because who's going to be making and scoring the goals if he's not there?
Yeah, and I think we had an XG. I'm not a big XG fan. I think but again, with 0.268 XG against Southampton, and the fact that probably without Maddison, that's going down to probably nothing, genuinely, or maybe 0.1 or something, genuinely low, because I'm just hoping that, again, he stays fit. However, don't play him if he's not fit. Give him a rest for a game and then bring him back in the next one, because it's not worth getting him injured. But hopefully he gets better before that as well. And then in terms of, again, sorry, you're going to say something?
No, I just think you're right. In terms of Saturday, what are we actually looking to achieve? Do we believe we can go there and win the game? If so, he probably has to play if he's relatively fit. Realistically, we'll be surprised if we got anything, wouldn't we, on Saturday, the way things are going. So it might be worth him sitting out and playing a Dennis Pratt or a second striker and just having a good go at them and seeing what we can get. It's going to be goals.
Hopefully for us.
I never said that.
Yeah, you said hopefully goals. I'm like, yeah, kind of, maybe. A couple of penalties if somebody could get sent off. Again, they've not got Koulibaly in, so they've got Thiago Silva, who's still quality. And from what I spoke to Lewis, they don't trust their defenders at the moment, but we'll have to see if we go. Do you think we set up with 3 at the back, 5 at the back? What do you think?
The problem is that if you go 3 at the back, that means you've got to play Amati, Sionchu, and Evans. It's not very mobile, and I'd probably prefer to go with a 4 at the back and play with a deep line midfielder sat right in front of the back 4. So I actually thought Wilfred Ndidi had a much better first half last game. Not last game, against Southampton. But then he ruined it in the second half with some really poor positional play, and he was at fault for their goal. So yeah, I guess for me it'd be a 4 with him sitting right in front of the back 4 and almost blended into that back 4 to give us a bit of backup.
And if we do need, again, in Wilf, I was thinking Wilf is not back to his best, but I was like, this is good from Wilf, and I'm seeing signs of what I know he can be, and to see that he's kind of stagnated a little bit is not good. Again, the second half, it just seems like another player that's just, he went down and he didn't really recover after that, which is just, again, it's awful. Again, I'm hoping so, but then in front of that, would you go again 4-3 in that kind of thing, 4-3-3? Would you play Tielemans? Or would you go?
Well, I'd go with the diamond. I'd go with the 4 diamond 4 and then 2 up top, and at least give their centre back something to really think about. If they've got 3 at the back like they normally play, Vardy by himself against 3 centre backs, I'm not sure too much is happening there. I'd even go as far as say I'd probably play Harvey Barnes alongside him, who's obviously not a striker, but what he is someone that can stretch the game on the break and really take the game from one end of the pitch to the other quite quickly. But for me, I'd probably go Dewsbury Hall, Dennis Pratt, Wilfred Ndidi, and James Maddison if fit in the 4, and then Barnes and Vardy up front. But yeah, I don't know. Anything can happen with this team sheet when it gets released. You just don't know these days, do you? It's full of surprises.
No, we have no idea. And also, I think as well, potentially, if James Maddison isn't fit, and Jose Perez and Harvey Barnes were 2 other people that I was impressed with their first half performances. Second half, they just went, both of them, in my opinion, both went completely missing.
They did. What I say about Barnes is, even if he's not at the top of his game, he's still probably one of our most dangerous players, because he still picks the ball up and runs at people and stretches the game and makes things happen a bit. I think he's a huge confidence player in terms of, if it doesn't go well for him with his first run or his first shot, then he can go off into the background. I'll just say as well, while we're talking about Wilfred Ndidi, I feel a bit sorry for him, because we're saying, look, he's having a really torrid time at the minute, and he is, but he had a torrid time before he got injured, then he got injured, and he's still sort of finding his way back from that. So this period of time at the moment, I can almost forgive him for while he's getting back to a decent level of fitness, and I think he will get there. But when Wilf plays well, Leicester play well. That's what I always used to think. He'd break the game up, give it to the players that can play, and then we look more dangerous.
Yeah, potentially as well. No, I definitely agree. I definitely agree there. He can do that. Has he done? I can't remember the last game that I've like that was a real game. The only game I can think of where Wilf absolutely bossed it was where we remember we were 3-1 against Liverpool at home. I think it was during the pandemic. That was the first game. I can literally
It
remember
was
that
an
game
awful
going.
long time ago, wasn't it?
It's exactly a long spot. I can remember going, Wolf was fantastic in that game. He's not really looked that same level since. He's still a great player. I think he's still got a lot we could achieve with Leicester. But again, we've got to give him time, and we just hope an injury doesn't come. But playing one game a week hopefully will help that. And also, one thing you said in terms of the diamond, if James Maddison isn't fit, I would genuinely consider playing Kelechi Iheanacho in that position, then moving over to the right, because he can offer. He's not a cam, but he offers you that kind of. He's good at linking the play. He's good at bringing other players, and he's got a really underrated and great relationship with Harvey Barnes.
Yeah, he has. Yeah, he's a good player, Iheanacho. He's again a very much a confidence player. We saw that at the back end of the season a couple of years ago when he was on fire. I think he's been underrated in the job that he's done for us. Is he a right winger? Absolutely not. But we don't have any right wingers. We've got such an unbalanced squad at the minute that we don't have a squad of players that we've got 2 players for every position. We don't even have one right winger really, unless you count Mark Albrighton, who, he's great to have around the club, lovely mascot and all that. But is he going to play first team games?
Yeah, I see him more as a right midfielder in a 4-3-3 than I do as an out and out winger.
Perez isn't a right winger. We don't have a right winger. So, I think 2 years ago, you talking about putting Iheanacho on the wing would be crazy. But now we're at a stage of going, well, let's try it. It might work. He can hold the ball up and play on the overlap to James Justin or Castagna, sorry. And that might work quite well. But I think our best opportunity on Saturday is to get some pace in the squad and let them run at Chelsea's defence. So I think Barnes and Vardy are the key for me on Saturday.
Yeah, I think both of them are key as well. And I've just heard, apparently, again, breaking news, people, that that apparently the offer that Chelsea put in will be accepted by Leicester. Let's see what happens. But again, hopefully it'll be accepted by Leicester. Just before we got to go live, Mark, again, great to have you on again, my friend. Thank you so much. Would you like to plug away? I've left a link to your podcast in the description as well.
Yeah, listen to my podcast. It's 11 at 7 for Jamie Vardy. It's me and a few of my mates having a bit of a chat about Leicester through the good times and the bad, and we'll always be honest and try and be balanced and not get too carried away one way or the other. But it's on all podcast streaming services. So give us a listen and let us know what you think.
Yeah, it'd be great. So again, make sure to check it out. I'll leave the link in the description. So again, Fofana situation looks like they've accepted it, which is...
Where's that come from, Neil?
That's come from... I've just been told by somebody that I know at the club. So hopefully, from Susan Wheeler's had to get involved, and that's why it's got done, because she's gone out of her way to get that sorted. But yeah, hopefully you enjoy. Like, subscribe if you enjoy. Thank you again. We'll be back for the post-match as well. Make sure you follow Mark's podcast. We'll see you all in the next video. So goodbye.